probably say bad.
Yeah.
It'll be red and flashing.
Bad.
Hey, Mike, just go take a look and make sure we're like centered. Yeah.
Mike is not hearing.
You can just look from that side. Okay.
Make sure it's centered, you know.
It's centered. We're good. I can adjust it after if I need to. Yeah, it's already recording.
Okay, so we'll be quiet now, right?
Quiet on the set. All right. Welcome to the Dixon Legacy podcast again. And we're here with Zarita.
You said that so well.
Oh, great. That's good. That's good. So as I start with all my introductions, what I want to do is just tell me who you are.
I am Zarita.
Okay.
I am Zarita Dixon, and I'm married to your daddy.
My condolences.
No, congratulations was very much in honor. But yeah, to Aquila Dixon, and I have 3 children,
Okay.
and they are ages 45, 43, and 42. And I forgot what else I was supposed to tell you.
You're supposed to tell me who you are.
Okay.
What do you do?
Okay,
What is
do
your
I do?
profession?
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
I was born and
What is
raised
it?
in Brooklyn,
Okay.
New York. I am a New Yorker, and I lived a lot of years in New Jersey. I had several different professions and what
Okay.
have you. I started out going to school for performing arts and theater because I wanted to be in Shakespeare in the Park
Oh,
in
nice.
New York.
Okay, yeah.
So I took theater, acting, dancing, singing. And then I went, the last semester of school, we did a show with kids.
Okay.
Kids were amazing. They were able to get into character really quick and what have you. And I was like, ooh, I need to have a children's theater, but I don't know anything about children. So I wanted to learn more about children. So I applied to a school in New Jersey and New York.
Okay.
I went to the school in New Jersey because it reminded me a lot of, I lived upstate New York, so it was like really beautiful up there. And this college campus reminded me of that Kane University. And when I got into the program, I'm very excited, all the things I was learning, because I didn't go to kindergarten.
Okay.
Because during the time I was born, my mother taught you how to read and to write, and you knew math and all of that. So by the time I got into school, which I was 5, and they tested you because I went to Catholic school, and they put me right in the 1st grade. So
Okay.
when I went to early childhood and elementary ed classes, I was like reliving a childhood.
Right.
It was
Okay.
fabulous.
Okay.
So that's what I did. And then when I got into the program, my 2nd year, they said you have to do student teaching. I was like, I'm not trying to be a teacher.
Okay. Okay.
But in any case, I had to do student teaching, and really, that's where my calling was.
Okay.
Theater was good, and theater was very much a part of, the early childhood. I did lots of shows with kids, a lot of animation of nursery rhymes and things like that. But that's where I ended up. And then I started teaching in a daycare center. I taught Head Start. I taught in elementary school, high school. I did a teenage parenting program. And then college, I worked at a university. And now I have my own school, God's Word First School of Christian Counseling.
Very nice.
And I went on to get my master's in librarianship. I was a librarian for 15 years. And then I got my first doctorate in clinical Christian counseling. My second doctorate is in faith-based education.
Okay.
Got to put that education in.
That's right.
Faith.
Learning and
And,
education is all together.
Yeah, and then I started the school. I have a nonprofit called Kingdom Center for Hope.
Okay.
HOPE stands for helping other people excel, because I believe that you can help people excel no matter where they are in their life.
Yeah.
There are ways that you can help them to do well, and that's our goal.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
that's where the mentorship comes in, right? Because I'm big on mentorship, as you know.
Yes, I do.
And the mentorship, and I think sort of teaching, right, and all that is kind of like all encompassed into one when you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
teachers are that sort of conduit for that youth to sort of go to that next sort of stratosphere of wherever it is in their life, right? So
That's
I think
very
it's super
true.
critical.
And I think that with teaching, you have an opportunity to enhance, explore with children the world around them, things that
Yeah,
they would
yeah,
not
yeah.
know. There's a word apperception, taking them from the known to the unknown. And I think through teaching, you have that opportunity, giving them experiences to learn in various ways. One of the things that I found when I was teaching is that, of course, children learn differently.
Yeah.
So because I was in early childhood, I got the opportunity to sing and to dance around. You know,
Right,
we
right,
weren't
right.
limited at how you learn. And you found that some kids could, kids can remember commercials like
Yes,
that, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you do your phonics lesson and you're going through the ooh, and you can sing it, or make a poem out of it, a rap out of it,
Correct,
they
yeah.
get it much faster and they will excel.
Yeah.
Because it's a learning style that they can pick up and do. So the mentoring too, by your example, by the hope you give them and the support that you give them, even if they're challenged with learning,
Yeah.
can make all the difference in the world for
Yeah.
their lives.
Okay, so as we talk about mentorship and legacy, right, one of the things that I like to talk about is sort of pay homage to your mother and father, right? So who were your mother and father?
My mother was Shirley Burnett,
Okay,
and my father was Gordon Burnett.
okay,
My mother is from Barbados. My family is actually from Barbados. I was first born here. My dad's family is also from Barbados.
okay.
And my mom was very much into education. She always said, get your education is something nobody can take from you.
Correct,
I
yeah.
heard this all the years. She did pass away when I was 13.
Okay.
She was 32. My father wasn't that much in our life. And of course, when she died, we went to live with him for a short time. And then we went to live with an aunt and uncle, my mother's brother,
Okay.
and his family, upstate New York.
Okay.
18 of us.
Okay. So what's your aunt and uncle's name?
It was Betty and Charles Potts.
Okay.
Family name prior to that on my mother's side is Potts.
Okay. Okay.
And so that was a very amazing experience because we had foster kids, we had cousins, there were brothers and sisters there. There was just a mix of all ages
Okay.
and children from various places. And that was like our rescue place.
Right.
That was the place that we went because life wasn't that great where we were. And I learned so much there, and I have to give credit to my Aunt Betty
Yeah.
because she just taught me so much. She taught me how to be a lady. She taught me how to dress, how to walk, how to, we learned all of the social graces,
Right,
how to
right,
set a
right.
table, how to eat properly at a formal table, and all of that kind of thing. So because of her influence in my life, and she took me to my first League of Women Voters meeting.
Okay.
She was involved in her community.
Right.
She served in so many capacities, and I think that's where I'm kind of driven.
Yes, and it's so important
To
that
serve.
you, right, and so important that you see somebody that's doing that.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
And
Exactly.
I know we kind of say it all the time, see somebody that looks like you, that sort of gives you the opportunity to do that. But it's true that if you can see that in somebody else and you see yourself in them, and if they're doing it, then I can do it.
Exactly,
Right? And then in turn, you're
exactly.
teaching your kids.
Yes.
And then in turn, your grandkids,
That's
right?
right.
And then, like I said, when you drop the pebble and the pebble goes out, she may not know the influence that she had on you because she was just doing it because that was the person she is, right? And,
Yes.
and I think a lot of people, they don't even have the opportunity to see that. But if she comes here now, she can see that your children has benefited from the stuff
Exactly.
that she's done and may not even know it.
That's
know?
very true. And she grew up during a time where women they had their cotillions. So they learned the social graces. They had to be presented to society.
Right.
She grew up in Harlem. And so that was a big time, especially for African Americans, to see people live a better life,
Right.
a very, beautiful life. But there were just standards of excellence. My grandmother used to always say, speak the King's English. So we could not use slang. Even when we lived with Aunt Betty and Uncle Charles, we did not use slang.
Right, right.
You spoke well. you carried yourself well, you held your head up, you walked, with your head up. I tended to look down because I didn't know
Okay.
where the ground was going to
Right,
be.
right,
But she
right.
was like, Zarita, hold your head up, and stand up straight. And she showed us how to do those things, and it's impacted everything that I do throughout my life in so many ways.
Yeah.
So how she carried herself, and then we saw it, and then we wanted to live our lives and carry ourselves in a certain manner because
That's
she taught
correct.
us to do that.
Yeah, and I think that part is so important. So we have a program that we run, and that's one of the things that we tell the parents. We tell the parents, it's not only what you tell individuals to do, it's what you show them, right? Because and they're
Exactly.
more likely to do what you show them than what you tell them to do.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And I think experiential learning is so important. I know in
Yeah.
early childhood, it's very, very important. If you take an ice cube, you put it in a cup and you let it sit there, it's going to melt. And if you let it sit there long enough, it's going to evaporate. You've just learned the 3 forms of water,
Yeah.
And even though you're not saying these are 3 forms of water, when they get to earth science class, they're going to get it. They won't know how.
Right,
But it's the
right.
experiences that they've had, the things that they're able to see and experience make such an impact
Yeah.
on who they are
Yeah.
and what they do and how they look at life.
Yeah,
You know?
it's funny that you say that because we talk about the ice cube too. So one of the things we talk about is putting in the work, right? And a lot of times that's very general, putting in the work. What does putting in the work mean? So we talk about the ice cube, and if it's at when do you want it to melt? Because when it starts melting, that's when you see the progress, right?
Yes.
So we talk about running, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, stuff like that from a physical point of view. But this can translate to school, to life, everything, right?
Very much so.
At -5, what happens to the ice cube?
-5.
-5, nothing, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Is that
So
Celsius?
I'm talking Celsius, right? I forget I'm in America now, so it's got to be Fahrenheit. So let's say 32.
Because -5 for
Right,
us,
so- right.
block of ice.
Yeah. So you have to think Celsius. So all
Okay.
you Americans, you got to change it to Celsius because that's all I'm thinking right now. So
Okay.
-5 Celsius, nothing happens. -4, nothing happens. -3, -2, -1, nothing happens. 0. Nothing happens. So you can imagine you're putting in all this work and you don't see any benefits from the work you're doing. As soon as you hit +1, that's when it starts to melt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what you have to take in consideration. All the work that you do, you have to keep pushing through because once you get to that one extra step, that's when you start to grow.
Right.
But nobody sees the work that you put in before.
No.
And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's long. You have to do 2 years and nothing happens.
Yes.
But if you do that 2 years and 1 month, then you'll see the growth happen.
That's very true.
Right.
And it's almost like when you're planting a seed, one of the things we used to do in early childhood is you take a lima bean seed.
Yeah.
Now, actually, a dried lima bean, if you crack it open, you see the bottom, you see the leaf, you see all this stuff. But in the ground, you don't see all the growth
Yeah.
that happens. And the roots start coming out,
Yeah.
and all you see is when it pops up.
Yes.
And it's like you said, it's like that pop up, it took time for the rest of that plant
That's correct.
to get in place.
That's correct.
So
That's-
don't be discouraged when
Yeah.
you don't see it pop up right away.
Correct.
Correct.
So. Yeah. So we call it putting in the work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to tell me a story. So about a tough time that you've been through in your life, right? And what I want you to think about is when you're going through that thing, so you can tell the story of what you're going through. What was your mind going through at the time, right? And did you have anyone to talk to? And then the last piece is, years later, if you reflect back on that time, what would you have done differently, or what advice do you have to your younger self?
Okay. I think the toughest time, there were many tough times
Yeah.
in my life, but I think probably the toughest time was when I was younger, and I remember I turned 7 years old.
Okay.
And I learned how to do my own hair. My mother actually was very sick. She was an alcoholic.
Okay.
And there was a lot of abuse going on in the house and what have you. But I would always see myself in a dark room, but in the distance, if you can imagine yourself in a bedroom,
Okay.
in the distance, there's an open door.
Okay.
And there's light on in the hallway. And I would always tell myself, if I can get to that door,
Okay.
I'm going to be okay.
Right.
But the goal is get to the door.
Okay.
Suffer through, deal with whatever you have to deal with. So
So I have a
during-
quick question. So in that time, did you know that your mom was an alcoholic? Like, were you aware of that piece, or
Yes.
or was that after?
No,
At the time, you were
Yes,
aware.
because she
Okay.
drank all the time.
Okay.
We
Okay.
saw the difference in her
Yeah.
behavior.
Okay.
We saw a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So going through that time was really hard, and she had seizures.
Okay.
And at that time, people with seizures, they didn't handle them the way they do. My son has seizures now.
Right.
It's a lot different than it was back
Yeah.
then.
Okay.
So she was put in mental institutions. She was, put in this room, and you'd see her violently, in the seizure and what have you.
Okay.
So all of that, and yet I had a younger sister. I had to make sure that she was fed. My mother said, always take care of your sister.
Yeah.
Don't leave your sister, kind of thing. And so through those years, it was always take care of yourself.
Right.
One of the things that I used to do that may sound a little crazy to some people is I would fill the sink with hot water,
Okay.
and I would put my hands in it and see if I could withstand
Okay.
the heat.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because I always wanted to be able to handle challenges,
Okay.
pain,
Okay.
whatever
Yeah.
emotionally things that would
Yeah.
happen. And I always had I got to get tough mindset,
Yes.
you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
So that I can make it through this next challenge. And I think through those years, I realized that you make decisions now, because see, you can make a decision now that could change the whole trajectory of your
Correct.
life.
That's right.
Okay? And I remember we were going somewhere with my grandmother, and my mother was drunk in the house, and she was sleeping. And I remember sitting in the car, and if I could see through the window and see her there, I remember saying to myself, just because my mother does it, I don't have to do it.
Okay. Okay.
I was
Yeah.
probably around 6
Okay.
when I made that decision. And so through those years, though it was very tough, I kept seeing that open door.
Okay.
And that was
Okay.
what I was striving for. So once she passed away, I was 13. I had just started high school.
Okay.
And we went to live with my dad. But I have to say, because of all the things that I went through during that time, losing your mother is tough, but it also released a burden.
Okay.
I didn't have to worry now. I was going to be with my dad. Now that presented a whole nother
Yeah,
challenges,
yeah.
but there was a relief, like, phew, I
Yeah.
don't have to go through that again. You know what I mean? There's a parent that's going to take care of us.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
taking
yeah.
care of ourselves, okay?
Okay.
And so that was probably one of the toughest times that I had to deal with. After she passed away, we lived with our dad a couple of years, and then we went to live with our aunt. Every 2 years, we lived somewhere
Okay,
else, kind of
okay.
thing. So if I were going, I don't know if I would change what I would say to my younger self,
Yeah.
because I think the things that I said helped me to survive,
Get through. Yeah.
to get through, okay? And I think that if I were, what could I say I've learned? I learned how to withstand without giving up.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I never felt like I'm gonna just give up. I can't. No.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
had goals. I had
Yes,
dreams.
yeah.
I had ideas. I sang a lot of music. Music was my thing. We didn't have a TV, so I listened to music all the time. Classical music, any kind of music. I just loved music.
Okay.
You know, so times that were tough, I would go when I lived upstate New York, get on the piano, play by ear, figure out these little tunes
Okay.
and what have you, and that's it. So I don't know if that totally answers your question.
It answers the questions,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of times, like, what I want people to get from what we talk about is ideas that they can take, right? So either as a young person going through what you're going through, or an adult sort of going through something, or they, as an adult who has a young person, can sort of see it from the other
Yeah.
point of view, and then maybe that adult will sort of think, hey, maybe I need to do something to help this young person because they're seeing it from this way.
Yeah,
Right? So
yeah.
it's just a matter of kind of just turning the table. So anybody who's looking at it can look at it and say, I can take this little piece and I can use it.
Yeah.
Right? So
And
that's
I
what I
would-
really want to do.
I
Yeah.
think I would encourage people who may not be living with their parents, or they may have lost a parent and what have you. I think that it's real important that you realize that it's not going to be the end of your world.
Yeah.
if you make certain decisions. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
made certain decisions about my life that I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to fail. I wanted to do well. Now, I have to say too that I was raised in a Catholic church, school, Catholic church, and I would look to God for my help,
Yeah.
not the way I do now,
Yeah.
because I know God differently than I did
Yes.
back then.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But I think that foundation helped me to be able to not give up or know that I had some help
Right.
somewhere.
Right,
Do you know what I
right,
mean?
right, yeah.
Even though I didn't fully understand and know, that God could really be my help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until later on in
Yeah,
life,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I would encourage that you can make it. And there were people along the way that were encouraging. The day my mother had to go into the hospital, it was a Friday. And I didn't know how to use a phone because we never had a phone.
Right.
And my grandma used to take care of kids next door. She had passed away a year before, and my grandfather was getting, he wasn't going to have the business anymore. And I didn't know what to do. And one of the mothers, I remember Stacy's mom,
Yeah.
she helped me to dial a phone to call the emergency to come get an ambulance to
Right.
come.
And what's
She was-
Stacy's mom's name?
Stacy's mom. I was a little girl.
That's
I
right.
didn't know.
That's right.
That was
That's right.
Stacy's mom.
That's right. That's
it.
right. Yes.
And
Yeah.
Conway.
Okay.
I think it was Conway, Miss Conway.
Okay,
And my mom died that Sunday. They called and they said I had to go to the hospital because she had passed away. And I didn't know where my dad was.
Yeah.
My sister and I were pretty much alone.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I came back, I remember where Miss Conway lived, which was
Okay.
up the street. And I went there and I told her. And then I got home. And then, things
Yeah.
happened.
Yes, yeah,
but
yeah,
there were
yeah.
people along the way that I believe God had in my path
Yes, yeah.
to help me, encourage me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's why I believe that it's so important to have that either a mentor, counselor, those key people in your lives. Like, I don't think a lot of times when we're in it, we recognize that that's who those people
Right.
are, right?
That's true.
But if we can recognize that earlier, that that's who those people are, then we can lean on them a little bit more.
Yeah,
Right? And
yeah.
they can help us get through some of the stuff that we're going through.
That's true. And I
Yeah.
think once you come out, you need to be available
Yes.
to help others
That's correct.
that may be going through
Yeah.
so that they can know that you're going to be okay through this.
Yes.
I'm here for you.
Yes, yes. So that's a perfect segue because what I like to talk about next is where you are now, right? And a lot of that is connected to your passions, right? So ideally, you always want your job or your work to be your passion because then it's not considered work. It's
Right.
you're doing what you love to do. So if you could talk a little bit about like where are you now? And then the next step would be, okay, what steps did you take after going through a lot of stuff and now you're kind of hitting your stride and you're on your way? What steps did you take to get to where you are now?
Okay.
Just to leave some breadcrumbs for anybody who's interested in doing what you're doing
Okay.
and how can they get there?
I'm going to leave y'all some nuggets.
That's
okay?
right. Not chicken nuggets, it's nuggets.
No, gold nuggets, some diamond nuggets,
That's
some
right.
coal that's going to
That's
be
right.
great,
Yeah.
But so because I did so many things in my life, I'm actually retired now. I retired in 2016. And but that retirement doesn't mean the end of your life. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything. I retired from work that I did to do the work that I love.
Nice.
Okay?
Love that.
So when I was a teacher, I was a travel agent.
Okay.
I worked for the Holiday Inn.
Okay.
I became a librarian. Oh, I was in performing arts and I sang
Yes.
and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Still
So
sing.
I still sing. Yes, I do, and I sing with a
Yes.
big band.
Yes.
I mean, that is like a dream come true.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Because I grew up listening to the
Yes.
radio.
Yeah.
So you hear the big bands, the Benny, all those big band stuff. Anyway, so through all of that schooling and what have you, I did a teenage parenting program.
Okay.
Where I watch young girls who people had given up on them. They're in high school. You'll never be anything. You'll never do anything. And I didn't believe that.
Yeah.
And so I worked to get a program going, got the program going. The girls that were in my program, that stayed in the program, they didn't get pregnant again. The statistics say 18 months later, you're going to get pregnant
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
They did not. They finished high school. They've gone on to college or work or vocational stuff. And they're doing really, really well. I see them on Facebook and what have
Yeah.
you. So having those kinds of opportunity, I did a preparation for progress program when I first got married. I was living in Toms River, New Jersey. And it was for community kids, the kids in the community. They couldn't read well. They couldn't count change. They couldn't do a lot of stuff. But I wanted them to learn. I believed that we could help them, and we did.
Yeah.
So all of those kinds of things impacted how I went about whatever I went about doing. My last position as a librarian, I had the opportunity to work in the largest library system in New Jersey, Ocean County Library System. And I started as an intern and went back to college. I had to go back. I went to Rutgers University to get my second master's. And I did 10 months 1 week. And that was a culture shock.
Right.
Here I am, 49 years old.
Yeah.
And these little kids running
That's
around.
right.
Okay, so for my
But
first class.
that means you can do it, because at first
Absolutely.
they think you're the teacher coming in and you're
You know?
sitting with them.
Yeah, I'm sitting with them. But listen, I didn't know how to use a computer, okay? Because I didn't have a computer, right?
Right.
So first class, I have to. The teacher says, go online, go to here, da da
Yes.
da da da. Okay, you've seen the cartoons
Yeah.
where the tears come flying
Yeah,
out
yeah,
your eye.
yeah, yeah.
That was me. She was so
Yeah.
discreet. She had the TA come over and help me to get online.
Yeah.
That was a totally challenging
New, yes.
learning curve for me.
Yeah.
But I was able to, with the help of students and then paying attention and working hard, I was able to finish in 10 months and 1 week, 36 credits.
Wow.
God was good to me.
Wow.
I'm telling you. I
Yeah.
learned about FTP, file transport
Yeah,
protocol.
yeah.
I was like, Holy Ghost, you got to transport this stuff to me.
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
I don't know. But as a result of being able to go through that program, what have you, I can't tell you how many other women I've encouraged about going back to school. Just take an art class, get on the campus,
Yes.
get the feel for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once I finished with all of that and I retired, and I wanted to do more. So I have a school, God's Word First, School of Christian Counseling. And when I got my doctorate, I had a church that asked me if I would help them to get their license. And so that's how I started the school. When I came to Florida, somebody had asked me about it, and I started the school down here. So we've been 8 years now.
Okay.
We've been doing the school. We had people graduate with their bachelor's, their master's, and their doctorate. And still learning. People
Yeah.
are still learning and what have you. And then I started Hope, the Kingdom Center for Hope.
Okay.
The focus of that, as I said, was to help people excel. We started Dream Chasers, Dream Makers program, and that was a mentoring program for girls 10 years old and up. They're trying to get their dream, and we're going to help them make it. The dream, chasers, they're
Yes.
going after their dreams.
Yes.
And then we want to help them make that possible. And so that's what I do. I sing with a big band, and that's like a dream come true. I said on my 70th birthday, I was going to do this big
Right.
concert and what have you. And several years before, actually saw this band. I was catering an event.
Okay.
And I was like, "Ooh, I want to do that." And eventually, some months later, they asked me to come in to audition.
Yeah.
And I've been with them 4 years now.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, right? So, living this time in my life, I feel very fulfilled in a lot of way, but I feel that I've still got work to do
Yeah.
to help young people, to help adults. And what I'm finding is that as much as I help young people in one way, they're adults, and a lot of times it's women.
Yeah.
Through our program that our Kingdom Center for Hope, we have a No Turning Back program, and that's for
Okay.
women coming out of prison
Okay.
to help them not to go back into prison.
Yeah.
And there are many factors that they need help in so that turnaround
Right,
stays,
right.
so you stay out. So I just feel that there is a lot that I still have opportunity to do. I want to get her done.
I love that. Get her done.
Get
Everybody-
her done, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So
But
I'm
I
not
like-
sure if I got off on a tangent here.
I like the way you use that, though, opportunity. So one of the things that we tell the boys and girls that are part of our group is that sometimes you just need to change one word. And I heard it, right? And it said, instead of I have to, change it to I get to, right? So don't say I have to go to work, say I get to go to work.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Don't say I have to do homework, I get to do homework.
I get to do
And
homework.
it changes the whole mindset of what you're trying to do, right? Because it is truly an opportunity.
It is.
Some people don't have it, but some people you just need to place somebody in your life that will give you the spark and then you just need to blow on that spark and let it grow.
It's true.
Right, but if you're not aware that that's even the spark there for you, which a lot of people aren't, then it's a problem because you miss the opportunity. But
That's
with
right.
individuals like yourself, where you're actually physically going out and saying, "I am the spark. See me here," right?
I come to bring you
Listen
joy.
to me. That's right. That's right.
Hope and healing. No,
That's right.
seriously.
Sometimes you need that.
I when I was in college, I'll tell you this real quickly. When I was in college, you know, before I got my bachelor's, I just felt like I had that same old song.
Yeah.
My mother was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
My dad left me.
Yeah.
Blah blah. And I just was like, you know what? I'm tired of that song.
Yeah.
I want to see life differently. And so I made a decision that day, when I go out of my dorm,
Yeah.
I'm going to find the good.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for the good.
Yeah.
And I would look at people and say, I like her eyes.
Yeah.
I like his dress.
Yeah.
I like that flower.
Okay.
And it changed. I went from sad sack Sarah
Yes. Yeah.
to
Okay.
happy girl.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not fake because I really like the way you look.
Yeah.
And then I began to share with people,
Okay.
that is such a cool necklace you got on. That is, and it just changed how I looked at
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And I could find the good. Now, there are times that you find yourself slipping back.
Yeah.
But I feel the difference. I don't want to go back.
Right.
I want to keep it going forward because I want people to know that there's hope for you. I don't care
Yeah.
where you are.
That's right.
I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you've been. Every day is another opportunity to make it better.
Just a little bit better.
Just a little bit
That's
better.
right.
Make a decision.
Yeah.
One decision could change the whole trajectory
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah.
And every day, little decisions can make a change for
That's
you.
correct.
That
Yeah.
can be encouraging to somebody else.
That's correct,
Because
yeah.
we live, but we don't just live for ourselves.
Yeah.
We are examples to others.
That's right. We
You know what I
always
mean?
impact each other's. And,
Always.
And it's that sort of ripple effect, right? So you
Yes.
say you drop the pebble in the ocean, and then the ripple goes out and out and out. And some of those outer circles don't even know that was
That was
pebble
your
that
drop.
dropped, right?
It's true.
But they're feeling the effects of it. Like
Yeah.
it's so true. It's so
Yeah.
true.
And you can go into people's lives,
Yeah.
and because of your own attitude,
Yes.
mindset,
Yeah.
and make such an impact on them in little ways. Because some people just bring seeds, other people will bring some water,
Yes, yeah.
and then you're going to start seeing some increase.
That's
and there's
right.
so many things that can factor into it to make your life just better.
Absolutely. That's a
give
perfect way
hope.
to finish this. So, do you have social media handles? So, email, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram,
Oh, yeah,
TikTok.
yeah. Okay, so I don't do TikTok. I have TikTok, but I don't
Okay,
do TikTok.
okay.
But for the school, God's Word First School of Christian Counseling.
Okay.
And we have a website, and we have an email address, which
Okay.
is just the initials, GWFSCC
Yeah.
at gmail.com.
Okay.
And then for the Kingdom Center for Hope, it's TKC, number 4, HOP at gmail.com.
Okay.
And we do have a website for that
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
And you can go on there.
All right.
And it's SUNCOAST Swing Band Lady Z.
I love that. Love that. So I'm going to put everything in the description below.
Okay.
Right? But for now, we want you to subscribe, comment, like, share. Right? Because we want to get to 100 subscribers before. I think we're sitting at about 70 right now.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we want to get to 100 before the end of the year.
Okay.
So you got to pass it on to all your
Oh,
friends and
absolutely.
make sure they subscribe. That's the most important
Absolutely.
part.
Absolutely. I'm going to send them a note. Subscribe.
That's right. And I'm going to let you know when this episode is dropping, so you
Okay.
make sure all your friends see it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because you know what? On
Yeah.
Facebook, I do have
Yeah.
a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I don't and I have LinkedIn too. Now I
Okay.
think about it. But anyway, on Facebook, because I don't necessarily go on all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
When I do go on, it's like.
Yes,
You know?
yeah. So this one, usually when I do it, when I post it on YouTube, then I send the link to Facebook. So it's on
excellent.
the Facebook page. So, and that's
Yeah.
where most people sort of get it from, right?
Yeah.
But we'll let them know.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
That's good. That was good.
You're welcome.
Now I got to just double check.